Continuing from the previous episode 2810. This is the end of the matter. Why are you stubbornly resisting in the corner? Eclipse sphere. Sweeping away all the unease and worries in my heart, the sound of Senran sounded, and then Xuanming Demon Venerable's palms swelled violently. In just a short time, a group of abnormally dazzling energy flew out, strangely constructing a certain figure in the air. A breath of evil. There is no trace of distortion and collapse in the void. It can be seen that this so-called underworld area, the toughness of the space seems to surpass any previous world. I saw that in front of Demon Venerable Xuanming, suddenly a 1,000-meter-sized sphere of blood-colored light quickly gathered. Above the blood-colored light sphere, there are countless despairing filth auras. Scarlet blood-colored pupils, foul-smelling skin, flesh and blood, etc., are all a messy mixture, attached to the outermost periphery of the blood-colored light sphere. Immediately, without waiting for the King of Fallen Angels to react, Demon Venerable Xuanming waved his palm and threw it directly, and the latter, under the gaze of everyone, projected it towards the underworld ground below like a falling meteor. New 81 Chinese website update fastest computer. Link to www. at x81zw at his target. Isn't it us? The fallen wings behind the King of Fallen Angels waved, as if they were cooperating with the fallen feathers left by the hard battle to condense some kind of trump card, but seeing the huge ball of light actually passing through the void beside him, his pupils could not help shrinking slightly. Not good. And at the moment when his line of sight followed the blood-colored light ball, a sense of unease quickly sounded in the mind of the King of Fallen Angels. Looking from afar, I saw that the huge ball of light was moving at a high speed, and countless pairs of scarlet demon eyes suddenly opened on the surface, swallowing the countless undead army on the ground below like a mouthful of greedy giant mouths. For a time, the undead army camp that had the upper hand in the battle was completely disordered. Countless undead creatures were completely swallowed by the latter without any struggle, and the evil fluctuations in the blood-colored light sphere became more and more intense. The supreme powerhouse of the holy clan of the evil race outside the territory is really strong. Degenerate. It's up to you whether you can succeed in this first battle. The other side of the flower. The other side of the flower blooms, and the life is crossed. Looking at such a severe battle situation, the asterisk of death twisted his body, the black robe slowly surging, and then the dark sickle full of extreme death fluctuations slowly flattened, and the illusory dark arm protruded from the black robe, holding the death scythe a little bit. It seems to be mobilizing, calling for the breath of death sleeping in the death scythe. The bright red bana flower grows madly from the sickle of the asterisk of death, and spreads everywhere as soon as it grows. Every bana flower is covered with countless refreshing fragrances, which can easily lead to foreign evils. The clan army was more than half unconscious. The 9 clouds devil's claws. Seeing such a bizarre scene, Juyin Yuzhen raised his jade hand and waved it down suddenly. A dazzling light suddenly surrounded the jade hand, which suddenly tore apart the void, and rushed towards the death asterisk as fast as lightning. Bang! The dazzling claws whizzed past, almost crushing the other side of the flower world cast by the asterisk of death in a destructive gesture, and even such power was constantly threatening the life of the asterisk of death. Immediately, Demon Venerable Xuanming once again controlled the blood-colored light ball that devoured countless undead creatures, and there was a faintly boiling monstrous evil power on it that made the soul tremble. The strength of the two of you isn't my opponent, so let's end it. The blood-colored light ball under his feet swelled more and more, and there was a look of contempt in the eyes of Demon Venerable Xuanming, and he smiled slowly. First release www. x81zw. x81zw, the Scythe of Death. The Death God, who was constantly attacked by Juyin Yuzhen, was surrounded by black energy, and a terrifying dark-colored light wave rippled from the palm of his hand out of thin air. HMPH. Why are you struggling to be beaten to death? Feeling the blow of the God of Death, which was almost an all-out blow, Demon Venerable Xuanming's eyes were indifferent. Just when he wanted to turn his head to find the location of the King of Fallen Angels, he found that the void where the latter stood before was empty. Top, these despicable guys. Juyin Yuzhen raised his head slightly, but saw a pitch-black giant net that covered the sky flickering out of thin air, completely covering them. It's too early to be happy. The icy voice of the king of fallen angels spread from the sky, and immediately a drop of almost purple demon blood slowly mixed with those black feathers, and pieces of black feathers shone with unparalleled divine breath, falling from the sky. The power of corruption, the 7 killing demons. Even if it is the way of the fallen, the king of fallen angels still has the power of the queen of angels. The wings of the fallen, combined with the surging power in the body, turned out to create an unusually pitch-black giant net of heaven and earth out of thin air. The giant net of heaven and earth is covered with ancient patterns of prohibition that are rare in the kingdom of angels, and the angel wings of the king of fallen angels are set off to the extreme, as if the latter has taken over the master control of this battlefield. Right, the power of these guys is not quite right. At this moment, the monstrous evil power that was tumbling in demon venerable Xuanming's body actually became slightly trembling. Seeing the king of fallen angels acting like this, the contempt in his heart was gradually replaced by unease. The territory of the underworld cannot be trampled by anyone. You must pay the price for your ignorance. The calm eyes finally tightened suddenly at this moment, and a killing breath that even the 2 powerful saints of the opponent was shocked by it slowly passed from the body of the king of fallen angels. The latter's slightly hideous face is full of unprecedented madness. Crazy killing intent permeated from the body of the king of fallen angels, as if even the air could be completely frozen and solidified. The undead creatures fighting with the alien army below abruptly stopped their movements and stood quietly in place. Don't dare to make any sound at all. Because they are clear, in the underworld, there are only the king of darkness and the king of the underworld, both of which are the supreme rulers of the underworld. Boom! Even if Xuanming Demon Venerable wanted to retreat, but with such a desperate blow from the king of fallen angels, how could he give the opponent a chance? The humming sound that makes the blood pulse fills the sky. At this time, the battlefield was completely shrouded by this round of the great slaughtering demon formation prepared by the giant net of heaven and earth. Immediately, when approaching the Xuanming Demon Venerable, 10 pieces of dark angel wings stretched first, and then the large formation was in under the gaze of the latter's sunken pupils. It turned into an erupting sacred volcano. The dark green demon power, accompanied by the extremely weak divine breath of the Queen of Angels, instantly turned into colorful waves of flames and exploded. Humming, at the moment of the explosion, the void of the entire battlefield swayed slightly, and one after another huge cracks in the heavens and the earth continued to spread and destroy from the land of the underworld. Go ahead, you must resist this attack. The fear and anxiety transmitted from the skin and the soul finally made the complexion of Xuanming Demon Venerable change suddenly, and he hurriedly turned his head and spoke to the strong man behind him. In this destructive power, it seems that some inexplicable power is mixed in. Endless destruction surges, blood-red flowers on the other side cover the whole world with the formation of the formation. All the power between heaven and earth turned into a part of the great demon-slaying formation, and countless energies with different attributes were released, and the evolutionary fluctuations caused the complexion of countless people to change dramatically. This first battle in the underworld seems to have come to an end. Continuing from the previous episode 2811, Fighting the Sky God, Yandi Shin, find the latest chapter. In the vast underworld, countless dark substances have intensified, setting off the entire world like a barren place surrounded by black dust and sand grains. From a distance, it makes people tremble slightly. In a dark and dead place, in a certain unreachable height in the underworld, it seems that there is always a dark figure sitting cross-legged above the sky and earth, looking up vaguely, and will be shocked by this magnificent scenery. It was a black wall made of pitch-black liquid. Even if it was a long distance away, as long as it was shrouded in it, an unprecedented fear would arise from the heart. You, go back. I don't need any help here. If something happens to him, I'm afraid everything we've done will be in vain. At this moment, a man in a jet-black robe slowly opened his mouth on the majestic nether wall, which was as high as 1,000 meters, as if he was muttering to the void around the city wall. It's just that the dark robe on the man's body is like a living evil. In the dark, it is constantly devouring the latter's life and even the soul. Yes, but, facing the master's order, a group of strong men hidden in the void also made a slight voice, but they all looked at each other in dismay. Their birth originated from Hades, but without the help of the demon power of the Dark King, I am afraid that they would not be able to obtain the strength of the eightfold reincarnation or even the half-step ninefold reincarnation. Wong guards the dark wall. Pluto has his own way. Heavenly Lock Void Realm will ask 8 of you. The man slowly let out a sigh of turbid air, as if he had decided something important. The existence of the evil robe behind him brought his life to the end. Now, it seems that this is the only thing he can do. As ordered, the voice fell, and the Bafang Emperor also moved slowly towards the center of the underworld behind the city wall. In the underworld, there is not only the Pluto, but even the most powerful people who once saved the world from danger. This time, the catastrophe in the underworld will probably only be countless times more severe than imagined. Dong dong dong. In the pitch-black void, there was a sudden burst of harsh wind breaking, and 4 black shadows reached the outer kilometers of the city wall one after another, and immediately set foot in the void. Locked in this flawless underworld wall, and the King of Darkness guarding it. Mian, Your Majesty, that guy. The next moment, after the eyes locked on the King of Darkness, among the 4, a trembling voice slowly filled the air. I'm afraid he is the King of Darkness in the underworld. Even with the protection of the strange black robe, the identity of the latter was seen by a figure among the 4 at a glance. Obviously, they had already explored the information of the underworld very clearly for this battle of the underworld. Looking at the 4 evil shadows shrouded in black robes, as well as the evil elite teachers behind him, a rare arrogance appeared on the dark face of the King of Darkness. For the hatred of the Shao clan, let's collect some interest from these guys. The late stage of the peak of the ninefold reincarnation. His strength is very strong. Among the 4, the voice of the old man who had been silent for a long time suddenly emerged, apparently also aware of the extreme power contained in the Dark King's body. In addition to the flawless demon power in the latter's body, the strength of the Dark King is probably several times more terrifying than the ordinary peak 9-layer reincarnation powerhouse. Here, let me intercept it. As long as the 2 princes can obliterate or capture the remnants of the Shao family, the battle of the underworld will naturally be self-defeating. Looking at the unmoved King of Darkness above the dark wall, the 4 figures made a decision after talking. As of now, that's the only way to do it. I hope Pluto can get to know each other a little bit, otherwise this world will probably only be destroyed in vain. Go! As soon as the sound fell, the bodies of the 4 of them rose into the air, surrounded by extremely viscous evil gas, and quickly swept away against the void of the underworld walls. If you want to step into the core of the underworld, these city walls must be broken, or is to jump over. The underworld is the realm of death. If you want to step into it, you have to fall. Looking at the fierce offensive of the 4 people below, the Dark King's palm slowly protruded from under the evil robe, and a swipe of dark green demon power flickered like a thunder, spreading from his palm in an instant, and soon the whole stretched the magnificent wall of tens of thousands of miles has completely turned into a wall of thunder full of demonic power. The dark green thunderclouds are dense, and the power of thunder dragons, thunder beasts, and extremely evil demons surges little by little, completely setting off this city wall into a purgatory on earth. Strangled. Tear. The demonic breath that is enough to subvert everything is full of wild surging, causing the 4 evil shadows to move slightly, but at the moment when they are about to touch the thunder wall, there are 2 ancient black lines with deep power flickering. It turned out that it was easy to break a crack in the thunder nether wall. 1 jumped, and 2 figures stepped into it out of thin air, heading towards Nether City. God's fluctuation? Looking at the 2 shadows leaving quickly, the King of Darkness finally felt a sense of unease and madness in his heart. It seemed that this trip to the underworld was countless times more terrifying than Hades expected. Susu, it's my honor to be able to fight against the famous Dark King in the underworld. After the 2 Zeons successfully stepped into the nether wall, the 2 shadows left behind gradually emerged from under the black robes, revealing chillingly miserable faces. The 4 guardians outside the territory, the 2 guardians of Zan and Huang in the law, are they the law? 9-layer Samsara mid-peak and late peak? Looking at the breath of the 2 people in front of him, the Dark King also smiled slowly, obviously penetrating the true identities and strengths of the 2 at a glance. The world of darkness, wreak havoc. After an instant, the evil black robe behind the King of Darkness was like a real demon, suddenly spreading out countless dark substances, and then a pitch-black world suddenly enveloped everyone. The gloomy fluctuations, the icy chill, and several auras surrounded them, even if they knew that they were still in the deep underworld. But now the King of Darkness's handwriting is clearly a general. They were sent to some unknown realm of death. In this dark world, endless death and fear have infected the hearts of many strong people little by little. Let's do it. If you can kill him, the power of the devil is enough for me to completely touch that dream realm. Even in the deep world of darkness, the eyes of the two guardians, Fa's eyes were filled with a touch of abnormal madness. In the underworld today, there is only Pluto who is still capable of fighting. Even though he is very talented, how can he compete against the two supreme beings among the evil races outside the realm with his own strength? The battle of the underworld seems to be doomed from the beginning. The underworld is defeated, and the Great Thousand World is not worth mentioning. For the convenience of reading next time, you can click on the favorite below to record this time. Chapter 2827, The Realm of Darkness, The King of Darkness. The reading record, you can see it when you open the bookshelf next time. If you like Fighting the Heavens God, Yandy, please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Opening parenthesis, closing parenthesis. Continuing from the previous episode 2812. Fighting the Sky God, Yandy Shin. Find the latest chapter. Boom! The whole world became restless in an instant, and all the evil forces that shrouded it turned into violent corpses, which slammed into the realm of darkness, trying to break through this terrifying barrier. Evil clouds whistled, and the tide of corpses was like an abyss. The terrifying fluctuations were enough to make countless people's complexions change dramatically. Baptism of Darkness. Facing the overwhelming attack of the elites of the evil army, the King of Darkness stepped into the air, and the majestic dark green energy slanted down from under the evil robe and surrounded him. Immediately, his palms covered with gloomy colors poured out, one after another mysterious seal. The law changed, causing a shock in the entire darkness. Boom! The irresistible dark tide spreads out from the dark world, and the vast and majestic energy, in the blink of an eye, will defeat the elite force of the evil army. Looking at such a situation, Huang Hu, Fa slowly waved his hand, causing the evil army in the rear to stop attacking, and he also knew that for the Dark King, no matter how many evil forces there were, they were nothing but ants, not enough to kill him. Mysterious Demon Gate. Just as Huang Hu, Fa's voice fell, Zhan Hu, Fa Bu's face full of murderous intent began to twist. In the extremely dark void, a blood-colored portal with a size of thousands of meters slowly took shape and rotated. The extremely evil energy is constantly entrenched around the evil portal, and an ancient smell is quietly surging from the portal. Is there an evil ancient pattern within the Holy Clan? Looking at this portal with blood-colored brilliance shining through it, the Dark King's originally indifferent pupils also slowly showed a touch of contempt and anger. The extraterrestrial Saint Clan is where the real elite of the extraterritorial evil clan is condensed. Some of the ancient evil patterns can be traced back to the same period of Shao Tianyuan, the ancestor of the Shao clan, and its power is self-evident. Yellow Demon Gate. Strangle me. Looking at Zhan Hu, Fa's attack like a broken bamboo, Huang Hu, Fa is also surging all over his body, and the power that contains countless dead evil spirits instantly shoots out. The ancient and evil portals of the two parties are entrenched on both sides of the Dark King, one after the other. With the continuous injection of magic power from the two guardians, the ancient evil doors hummed and trembled, one after another beyond the powerful restrictions of heaven and earth, one after another. Dots spread out from above the portal. It was a pitch-black mask the size of a palm. The whole body of the mask was surrounded by chilling magic lines. Every stroke of the magic lines was like a perfect work. As soon as it appeared, an amazing coercion was released from it. Come out. The four profound demons, Sen Luo is dead. It's a pity that with the strength of the two of you alone, you can't mobilize its true power. Facing the two guardians, Fa's fierce killing intent, the King of Darkness laughed loudly in the sky. Immediately, there was a trace of dark green energy in his body, which was transformed into the devil's flame, and he surrounded the latter little by little, as if because he was in front of him. The provocation of the two people was completely angry. The devil's flames surged like a fearless madman, with the blessing of the world of darkness, and now the King of Darkness's posture that covers the sky and the sun has become more and more terrifying. Devil's Flame. It can't be said that the flames of the demons in the sky fell from the Dark King. At the moment when it spread, the entire world of darkness trembled violently, and the whole world became darker and deeper. Sen Luo's dead face, swallow it for me. Facing the attack of the Dark King, the two guardians, Fa, looked at each other, and immediately whispered some ancient and complicated incantations. The two evil portals moved closer to the King of Darkness and squeezed away. The evil mask entrenched in it made the whole body violent, as if the latter was tearing apart the space from a distant evil place, with endless evil, flying towards the body of the King of Darkness. Boom! Just as the two collided, the entire world shrank in an instant, and then suddenly exploded, and one after another trance-like space cracks spread out of the dark world out of thin air. The attack of the two turned out to completely shake the darkness. Boundary. The two portals and the Devil's Flames collided, canceling each other out, but the evil mask quickly approached the Dark King, as if trying to kill the latter completely. The ancient evil pattern contained in the evil mask seems to be able to resist the erosion of many demons' flames, so it easily arrived in front of the Dark King. Humph! Looking at the arrival of the evil mask, the King of Darkness did not have any fear, but the evil robe behind him exuded an unprecedented fear. Immediately, the King of Darkness stretched out his arms covered with demon patterns under the gaze of countless evil powerhouses. He directly held the evil mask and put it on his face. Buzz! The evil mask was just attached to the face of the Dark King, and the dark green light all over the Dark King instantly boiled, as if he had encountered some power that made him fear. Skin, flesh, and even the devil's pattern in the bones, at this time, under the greed swallowing of the evil mask, all disappeared from the Dark King's body, and immediately poured into the evil mask. As more and more demon patterns were absorbed by the evil mask, the perfect mask was suddenly filled with very conspicuous cracks. Is he trying to force out the demonic power in his body? At this moment, Huang Fa's mouth became dry, and even his heart trembled faintly. According to the leader of the outside world, isn't this King of Darkness the founder of demon power? Why did he strip away this power? Could it be that, with his talent, he couldn't control this kind of power? This lunatic. Unlike Huang Fa, when Zhan Fa saw the Dark King's actions, a touch of unprecedented madness suddenly appeared on the corner of his mouth. Is this your strongest combat power? The next moment, the King of Darkness, who stepped on the sky, moved slightly, and was instantly shattered by the evil mask he wore on his face. Countless evil forces, even those demon patterns absorbed by him, were also continuously flowing. Injected onto the evil robe behind you. For a time, at the end of the sky in the realm of darkness, there were suddenly gray cloud tombs surging. From a distance, it seemed to be no different from ordinary clouds. But after seeing the King of Darkness's disdainful voice, the two guardians, Fa's pupils couldn't help but burst out with amazement that gray cloud tomb is not an ordinary thing at all. That is the devil's pattern, and even the evil product born from the evil mask. Countless resentment, corpse whistling, and other demon creatures are entrenched in it, and a steady stream of strong death threats are emitted. These are the strongest reliance of the King of Darkness. Immediately, Zhan Fa also clearly knew that what was in the gray cloud tomb was clearly the most humble servant of the Dark King. The King of Darkness, countless spooky ghosts and corpse ghosts under the blessing of the power of the devil. I'm afraid that only with his own strength, he can compete against the god of war. What a majestic and destructive power that is. For the convenience of reading next time, you can click on the favorites below to record this time. Chapter 2828 Untouchable Existence. The reading record, you can see it when you open the bookshelf next time. If you like Fighting the Heavens God, Yandy, please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Opening parenthesis, closing parenthesis. Continuing from the previous episode 2813. Fighting the Sky God, Yandy Shin. Find the latest chapter. The realm of darkness has long been out of the scope of the void of the Dark Wall, because it is an unknown country, a dark place dedicated to the King of Darkness. The Dark King's body was surging, and his eyes were slightly distant. Looking at the end of the underworld, there were countless completely different breaths, and there was a touch of relief in his eyes. Although those breaths were weak, there were many familiar ones. Feeling. Immediately, the body was surrounded by the gray cloud curtain, staring at the two guardians below, the small figure of the law and the evil army, the shocking spirits surging above the body, directly passing through countless voids, threatening the people here. All living things. Even if he is separated from the power of the devil, with his current power alone, the power of the two guardians in front of him, the power of the law, is still unable to compete with him. If it weren't for the check and balance of the evil robe on his body, his strength would have already surpassed that of Samsara. How could the two evil powerhouses threaten him? What he cares most about now is just the two supreme powers who jumped over the dark wall and stepped into the rear. The strength of those two people, even he was slightly moved. There are still some bad premonitions in my heart. Now his life can no longer allow him to touch that level of battle. The original separation, stripping away the demonic power in the body, seems to be just to shape the most perfect demonic robe and select the most suitable descendant for it. This is probably all that the King of Darkness can do now. Outside the end of the underworld, the moment Xiao Yan and other three forces entered here, the King of Darkness knew that the battle of the underworld was no small matter, so every move now seems to have been expected, and even more so. In the cloud curtain, the vast power of demons and demonic creatures crowded restlessly, like an indescribable ocean, never ending. When the two guards saw this, their eyes shrank slightly, and there was some sharpness and relief in the dark eyes. The attack just now can only be regarded as a small fight, but the strength of the Dark King has exceeded their imagination. In the face of a powerhouse of this level, if they only rely on the strength of the two of them, there is no such thing as any odds. As long as the evil robe behind him is destroyed, the Dark King will be self-defeating. After hesitating for a moment, Zhan Hu, Fa's face also burst into ferocious bursts, and now the arrow is on the string, and it has to be sent. Okay. The two looked at each other again, and almost tried their best to fight against the King of Darkness. Blood sacrifice, Holy Emperor Phantom. In the world of darkness, it suddenly became completely dark, and even the gray cloud curtains surrounding the King of Darkness became dead silent in an instant. Countless demon creatures who were scrambling to devour the evil army, hid in the cloud curtain with fear on their faces, as if the two guardians, Fa's attack now is some kind of heart-pounding wave of destruction. The two guardians, Fa spit out a mouthful of evil hot blood at the same time, and immediately transformed into countless complex and long evil patterns, which were suddenly poured into the void. In just an instant, the endless evil spirit spread from the void where the two drops of evil blood and essence meet, and a huge phantom stepped on the air looming, and the demon creatures in the entire dark world were instantly shivered by the ghost shadow. The demon creatures on the edge of the cloud curtain seemed to be instinctively retreating rapidly. That kind of power is simply not something it can resist. Commander of the Holy Race, the shadow of the heavenly demon Holy Emperor? That's our Emperor. This time, we will definitely win. The two guardians at the back, the evil army behind the law, looked at this evil shadow, and immediately a series of deafening roars resounded. It turns out that the two guardians, Fa, had already been prepared. HMPH, an ant that was beaten to death by my Shao clan several times. Looking at this evil shadow, actually trying to slowly pass through the void, the King of Darkness suddenly sneered. In that case, darkness, demon, reincarnation. However, although he is contemptuous in his heart, he is now in the underworld after all. He turns his head and looks at the increasing fighting intent of the evil army below, as well as the approach of this phantom. There is also a crazy smile on the corner of the King of Darkness's mouth. Fear? Afraid? The emotional perception in these humans completely disappeared as early as the moment they became demons. The dark green demon power completely covered the Dark King's body, and the extremely evil demon power on his body was even more terrifying than the original demon Xiao Yan. After an instant, the King of Darkness directly stretched out his hand and took a hold, slowly condensing the most mysterious and powerful forces in this world together, a level of danger that no one has ever dared to try. There are no superfluous emotions in the dark eyes of the King of Darkness, and he is arrogant, only the endless slaughtering breath continues to overflow, as if the current condensed attack, no one can resist. The evil robes surged behind him, the dark green liquid, the power of reincarnation in the body, and the power of darkness unique to this underworld. Three groups of exceptionally dazzling power emerged instantly. The King of Darkness, worthy of being a genuine lunatic. Seeing such a near-destructive move by the Dark King, the two guardians, Fa's eyes couldn't help but have a strong fear. The void in front of them is closing fast, and even the evil shadow who is trying to cross over is rapidly shrinking. It seems that their power is as weak as a baby in front of the ladder. No one knows the true identity of the Dark King, but the only thing that is certain is that he is the founder of the power of the devil. The power of the devil, that is a terrifying existence that even the capital outside the domain can't find a suitable way to deal with. The greed in the heart is surging, and the moment they stay, it seems that their end is doomed. Do not. The two of them tried their best to attack and summon, but they were slowly drowned under the strongest blow of the Dark King, and a fear that penetrated into the soul radiated. Helpless and small like dust, it seems that under the attack of the Dark King, the two of them are helpless and can only wait quietly for death to come. This underworld ruler is too strong, to the point of suffocating. Die. Countless evil armies fled quickly, and then the cloud curtain completely rippled, spreading like a sticky rain of corpses. The entire world of darkness is gone. As for the two guardians, he and his large army were swallowed up by these demonic creatures in just 10 seconds. After obliterating the two guardians, countless evil forces fled everywhere, but they were greedily sucked by the evil robes behind the Dark King, causing the Dark King's face to twitch slightly. That kind of pain goes deep into the bone marrow. www. Link to novelmtl.com/soul. It seems that the relationship between the latter and the evil robe now is symbiosis or companionship. This is the artifact of the demon world, the creation of the demon mirror. Until it was completely obliterated, the Dark King's calm pupils were actually completely attracted by a silver-white jade mirror below. The body moved with difficulty, and at the moment when he touched the artifact, the pupils of the King of Darkness could not help shrinking tightly, and two indelible gray marks were engraved on it. Xiao Tianming, Lord Thunder. The two huge word marks deeply touched the heart of the Dark King, and it seemed that he had guessed something. For the convenience of reading next time, you can click on the favorite below to record this. Chapter 2829 Self-Destruction. The reading record, you can see it when you open the bookshelf next time. If you like Fighting the Heavens God, Yandy, please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Opening parenthesis, closing parenthesis. Continuing from the previous episode 2814. Fighting the Sky God, Yandy Shin. Find the latest chapter. Dong dong dong. When the underworld region was fighting all over the place, Xiao Yan and other three forces were also surging together, approaching him little by little. The deeper you go, the more powerful the threat and oppression of the dark matter. And among those terrifying breaths, there are many foreign evil races and underworld rulers. Yao Ji and the King of All Beasts, the 9-level reincarnation class powerhouses, had the most obvious perceptions, and they couldn't help but become gloomy for a while. Even with their strength, the moment they stepped into the underworld, they became powerless. Not to mention a group of 7 or 8 reincarnation-level powerhouses behind him. At the moment of moving, in order not to let the strong men in the angel kingdom and the human world behind them lose their targets, Xiao Yan and his party kept a relatively safe distance from each other. They could neither catch up with themselves nor let them lose their goals. There is always the end of their vision. From the perception of Xiao Yan's soul that penetrates the sky and the earth, it is not difficult to know that the strength of the angel kingdom, the center of the human world, and the power sent to attack the underworld this time is really heart-pounding. The kingdom of angels kills the angels under the command of 2 archangels and hundreds of elite angels. The center of the human world is led by the master of the subworld, Shenzi, and its large army should not be underestimated. Wait, there seems to be a faint wave of demon power ahead. Go. As soon as the words fell, Xiao Yan took the team and swept away towards the first battle circle. Even if Xiao Yan possesses the power of a demon, his actions in the underworld are restricted everywhere. Cough cough cough. The king of fallen angels, the asterisk of death. No matter how terrifying your strength and means are, what can you do to me? Susu. In the first battle on the edge of the underworld, the battle of the 4 superpowers almost reached the white-hot stage. Xuanming Demon Venerable and other 2 evil powerhouses were forced to retreat, but no matter how the 2 kings of fallen angels motivated the demon-killing Great Array to erupt with terrifying destructive power, they could not completely wipe out the latter. It seems that at this time, they are also at the end of the shot. Just relying on the divine power in the body of the King of Fallen Angels, it is impossible to completely obliterate the latter, and the situation has become stalemate for a while. Yes? At this moment, a silent voice slowly swept out. As soon as the voice fell, an ancient flaming cauldron like a bell flickered out of thin air, directly shrouding the two evil powerhouses. Dozens of holy flames flickering with dazzling breath turned into holy patterns, urging the ancient power of the flame god cauldron to completely suppress it. Oh! The bodies of the two super-strong men were twisted, and they looked up with difficulty. They saw a group of imposing human beings rushing towards here, especially when the leader was flickering with several holy flames. There was a deep fear in their eyes. Out! With the strength of the two fallen angel kings alone, it is naturally impossible to obliterate them, but with Xiaoyan's strength, all this has changed. Flaming God Cauldron, practice for me. With his strength reaching the 9 reincarnation rank, and with the blessing of dozens of holy flames, Xiaoyan's combat power has skyrocketed to a certain heart-pounding level. The majestic and almost suffocating divine aura, like a vast ocean of flames, suddenly swept out from the void in the flame god cauldron. Under the impact of such forces, the bodies of the two evil powerhouses began to crumbling. We can't die here. The power of Fenju motivated the Yanshan cauldron, and in conjunction with the power of holy flame, the two evil powerhouses roared endlessly, and there was a touch of unwillingness in their voices. But no one paid any attention to them. After Yanshan Ding suppressed the two of them, the dazzling sacred flame instantly came close to the body, penetrated deep into the soul, and slammed into their dying evil bodies viciously. Bang! At the moment of the collision, the bodies of the two evil powerhouses suddenly turned into countless evil gases and spread out, as if they wanted to escape everywhere. It is a pity that in the enclosed space of the flame god cauldron, the two weak sources did not struggle at all, and they were immediately wiped out here. A trace of extremely evil power was also fed back to Xiaoyan's body from the flame god cauldron. Guru, watching the two evil powerhouses fall into each other's hands so easily, countless evil creatures in the evil army below raised their heads with difficulty, looking at the flame god cauldron above the sky in astonishment. Anyone can clearly feel the terrifying power contained in it. You, who are you? Seeing that Xiaoyan wiped out the opponents so cleanly and swiftly, the voice of the god of death spoke tremblingly. The breath of this guy is no trivial matter. It's no wonder, after all, the power of demons in their bodies is weak, but Xiaoyan has the purest power of demons in his body, although they can't identify Xiaoyan's true identity. Why do you have the aura of the kingdom of angels? The pitch-black fallen wings behind the king of fallen angels fluttered slightly, and then he looked at Xiaoyan vigilantly. Even Xiaoyan himself never knew the king of fallen angels' sensitivity to the power of angels. Peeved. And under such a tense situation, a purple feather that had been forgotten for countless years in Xiaoyan's body slowly poured out, and then quickly flew towards the back of the king of fallen angels. In the blink of an eye, it fits perfectly on its fallen wings. That fit seems to be innate and perfect. That piece of feather seems to have been accidentally collected after helping the girl named Qing Yuan to awaken her bloodline. Now it actually fits with the powerhouse with dark wings in front of him. There seems to be some kind of puzzling relationship between them. Little beast. At this moment, the pupils of the King of Fallen Angels suddenly became scarlet, and the only remaining demonic breath and the power of the fallen angels surged together, erupting like a volcano, as if he wanted to smash Xiaoyan into pieces. That feather clearly contains the fluctuation of his own bloodline. It cannot be owned by the Angel Queen. Then there is only one possibility, that is owned by his own bloodline. Now that it is pouring out of Xiaoyan, I am afraid that his bloodline has already fallen into his hands. This, the former Knight Commander Jin Yao of the Knights, His Majesty Lu Mingxuan. At such a critical moment, Lu Yun's delicate body surging, the angel wings stretched out behind her, and then intercepted in front of the King of Fallen Angels out of thin air, as if she was keenly aware of something. People from the Kingdom of Angels? Seeing Lu Yun appearing, the anger in the King of Fallen Angels could not help weakening a bit, staring at Xiaoyan in a stalemate. The latter's strength is unfathomable, and even if he does his best, he may not be able to obliterate the latter. But why does he have his own bloodline feathers? There's no time, let's go. But at the moment Lu Yun tried to reveal the whole thing, the world here was slightly twisted, and one after another outrageous and terrifying aura was coming from the void in the distance, and a few of them, even powerful enough to distort everything here. Go this way. After a short period of balance, the King of Fallen Angels also led Xiao Yan and everyone towards the underworld, where there are the existence of the Dark King and the underworld. I'm afraid it is one of the few safe places for them. For the convenience of reading next time, you can click on the favorite below to record this time. Chapter 2830 is the best. The reading record, you can see it when you open the bookshelf next time. If you like Fighting the Heavens God, Yandy, please recommend this book to your friends, QQ, blog, WeChat, etc. Thank you for your support. Opening parenthesis, closing parenthesis.